Elder put on.
Good morning, everybody. We begin our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm gonna have
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I did.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the April 11th Rockingham County Commissioners meeting. In attendance, Pat Conway, Chuck.
In my,
Emily, how do you say your last name?
Tomasi.
Tomasi, Emily Tomasi, our grant writer, Superintendent Henry, Allison Kowalski, Layla, Tequila. We got Commissioner Coyle, we got Commissioner Godu, myself, Brian Chercello, Zoom. We have Jason Smith, we have Jude Gates, we have the sheriff, looks like the major, and Catherine Mann. And I see former Commissioner Tom Morello has joined us as well. So,
Former and candidate.
we're gonna go to RFP openings.
The first opening is with respect to the walk-in cooler, and I move to authorize the Senior Director of Facilities Planning and IT to review, evaluate the proposals and return with a recommendation.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion on the motion? If none, on the motion, Commissioner Coyle?
Yes,
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
I will vote yes. We are on to consent agenda.
I move to approve the March 28th, 2024 public and non-public meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any additions or subtractions to those minutes? Hearing none on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes,
And I vote yes. Did you, let me see. Did you want to table the full
I
form?
don't think we need to. I think we'll just approve them next week.
Okay,
Not that we need a motion to.
let's go on to payroll.
I move to approve a payroll expense in the amount of $1,354,102.27 for the period ending April 6th, 2024.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
Just how consistent this is with the last couple months of payroll, so we're right in line.
On the motion, Commissioner Coyle?
Yes,
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
I vote yes. On to reports. Who would like to begin? Anything, information you want to share, Commissioner?
actually, I do have something to share. The New York Times had a report out on where the numbers based on county where number of sales of second homes priced at $1 million or more grew the most in 2023. And this is across the country. And coming in in the top 10 is Rockingham County. So I think that's and coming in at 1, 2, 7 in the country for counties where second homes over $1 million grew. I think that is a really interesting piece of data just in terms of it is, something we've seen anecdotally with the number of high transactions, a lot of over $1 million Rockingham County transactions that are cash and, a forecast for probably what's going to continue to trend in 2024. So anyway, just an interesting piece of data to all be aware of. And also that just the changing tax basis, because what it's saying is it's second home. So we're not talking, these aren't full-time residents that are buying these properties. So
And I would imagine most of those second homes would probably be in like the Portsmouth area, near the water, I would think, but.
yeah,
especially if they're cash.
it probably is more oriented towards the seacoast.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to assume. And we've seen that with, when Kathy talks about these transactions, a lot of them are seacoast related. We had a really good working session last week with all the department heads with their budget. And I think I speak for everyone when they say everybody really worked hard to put forth a tight budget. And I speak for the commissioners when I say thank you for all your efforts in terms of your budget preparations and efforts. And obviously, special thanks to finance for helping everybody along as well. And we have continue with union negotiations with Department of Corrections.
Yeah. Okay, Commissioner Godu, do you have anything? So I had the pleasure of going to Primex for training yesterday. It was from 9 to 12, it was a 3-hour workshop, and it was basically, they just set a scenario up for municipalities that ransomware had taken place. And it was just an exercise in, you know, how town officials would handle things and the press would handle it. And it was kind of fun at first. I'm like, oh, here we go, another workshop with interaction, you know? But it was fun because they split the groups into half would be reporters and the other half would be town officials. And then they gave you a scenario of what was going on. And then, so at first, you know, I was able to be one of the news reporters, and I thought that was nice because you get to ask these questions and you're almost trying to get like a catch-a moment. And then they flip, so you had another opportunity. Now, those people that were reporters are now the town officials, and just the opposite, because you have all this information, but you have to really figure out what's pertinent to the public, what you don't want to say, what you do want to say. You're more guarded. And it was fun because Jessica Wendell was there as well, and 3 members of the Derry Fire Department were there, so it was great. Jessica was chosen, they had 4 or 5 different groups, but Jessica Wendell was actually chosen to actually get filmed. And she was the town manager. And it was interesting to see that, but it was fun. We had a good time, and it was quite a learning opportunity to see how people would handle things. They had people from the state monitoring us to see, you know, how we would handle things, but it was fun, so. Okay, let's go on to county attorney's travel and training requests.
I move to approve a travel and training request for a county attorney's office employee SR to attend the RISE conference held May 22nd through the 25th, 2024 in Anaheim, California, at an estimated total cost of $3,019.55 as recommended by the county attorney.
Motion
Second.
made and seconded. Is there any discussion? If not, on the motion, Commissioner Coyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
I will vote yes. Energy efficiency and conservation block grant.
And I move to appoint Charles Nickerson, Senior Director of Finance, as the authorized representative of Rockingham County to submit any and all applications and documents to the U.S. Department of Energy for the Energy Efficient and Conservation Block Grant, and authorize the chair to sign all necessary documents related to such authorization as recommended by the Senior Director of Finance.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion?
Again, just
Commissioner
one
Godu?
curious thing that I saw on there. It said, it stated Chuck Nickerson was representing Chuck Nickerson.
I'm sure that works.
I just,
On the paperwork?
yeah, it was right in the beginning of the,
It's,
it just seemed
It's
odd.
just
I
a-
just wonder if that was accurate, that was the way that we,
I think it's,
Do you know where that was?
sorry, I did not.
That's okay.
I think I saw that as well. I think it's just.
Having someone leave going out the door.
All right, well, we'll see if that needs it.
I don't, we can review it later, but I mean, it just seemed like an odd way to put it, but I was not familiar with the legality of like
Right.
what, I thought it was Chuck Nickerson representing the county of Rockingham. So, I guess
We'll take a look at that, yeah. So,
Our worst is Scrivener's error.
do you want to continue with the motion, or do you want to table it, or what?
But I think
It'll
Are
be-
you okay with
Yeah.
going?
Yeah.
Okay, on the motion, Commissioner Coyle?
yes,
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Human Resources.
I move to designate the open enrollment period for the planned year July 1st. And this is with, we're starting with some of the designation of open enrollment. And then we're following with a number of motions relative to health, dental, and insurance for the next fiscal year. So the first motion is to designate the open enrollment period for the planned year of July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025 as May 20th, 2024 through June 10th, 2024.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion on this, please.
Just again, so just to be clear, open enrollment for next year, May 20th through June 10th. For everybody.
Mandatory.
Yeah, and that's for all departments. So if you, department heads can communicate that out, because so, and I know HR does a great job of communicating that out as well. It's on the tile, but, thank you.
On the motion,
think we need to-
Commissioner Coyle.
Yes,
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
I vote yes.
Based on.
Okay, and the second related motion is to designate, I move to designate completing the fiscal year 2025 online open enrollment as mandatory for all benefits eligible staff, ensuring that each employee acknowledges the premium rates for the benefits they have selected.
The
Second.
motion's been made and seconded. Discussion on this motion.
Anybody with confusion about how to fill out their open enrollment can go to the kiosk at HR. I'm giving the
I'll be there.
HR PSA.
They're open.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes,
I vote yes. Next, health, dental, HSA, retiree health, bio.
I move to approve the July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025 benefits as noted below and authorize the chair to sign all related documents as recommended by the Gallagher Benefit Services and the Senior Director of Human Resources. Specifically, to approve Cigna continue as the administrator for the medical insurance with a 3% increase to the administrative fees for all plans, no changes to plan design for the HDH high deductible health plan 10% and high deductible health plan 20% plans, and no increase to premiums for these two plans. This includes an increase in the Cigna Wellness Dollar from $20,000 to $25,000. To approve the following changes for the Cigna OAP 10% plan, increase the deductible amounts from $1,000 and $3,000 respectively to $2,000 and $4,000 respectively. Increase the co-insurance from 10% to 15%, increase the premium by 5% and change the plan name to OAP. To approve adding the Cigna Pathway Specialty with Oncology Clinical Consult cost containment program at a cost of approximately $3,800 per claim and Embark Benefit Protection Cost Containment Program at a cost of 99 cents per PEPM. To approve phasing out the Cigna OAP plan at the conclusion of the July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025 plan year with ongoing communications to all employees throughout the planned year in preparation for the plan ending. To approve the July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025 retiree premium rate for the Cigna Medicare supplement plan continue with no increase. This plan is 100% retiree paid. To approve the Northeast Delta Dental continue at the administrator for Delta Insurance with a 4% increase to the administrative fee from $6.18 PEPM to $6.43 PEPM. No change to the plan design, high and low plans, and no increase to premiums. To approve county funding of employee health savings account HSA of $3,500 for two-person per family and $1,750 for individual. These amounts will be prorated for employees enrolling or changing plan tiers with effective dates after July 1st, 2024. To approve Harlow continue as the product administrator for the healthcare shopping service available to Cigna Health Plan participants with no increase to premiums, $1 PEPM. Current rate hold expires June 30th, 2025. To approve Amwins continue as the product administrator for the United American Plan F and prescription plans offered to Medicare eligible retirees at an approximate 11% increase to the Plan F rates and authorize Senior Director of Human Resources to sign the Amwins renewal form. These plans are 100% retiree paid. To approve $1,500 annually for the employee health buyout option for the fiscal period July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. The full-time monthly rate of $125 is prorated for part-time employees. The same eligibility policy and procedures practiced for the July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2024 plans will be applied for the following fiscal year. Additionally, to affirm that the medical and dental eligibility and deduction policy and procedure continue so that the employees are eligible for and paid for both health and dental on the same date.
Okay, so,
I'll second that.
motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
So, in terms of where understanding the process of where things are going, because there is a lot of things are staying relatively the same. Where we have, we're making some changes based on what we've seen with, I mean, there are some cost increase, but, what we're doing is making some changes with respect to the program details based on what we're seeing for utilization over countywide. And we would encourage anybody who has a specific question about any plan details to reach out to the commissioners or HR or someone. really, and I'm trying to think, do you guys have anything else specifically related to any of
I'm
them?
just gonna ask, are you all set? Anything? So for me, I was really hoping to have a little bit more discussion on this. I know it's a quick, it's a tight timeline. We had some options and unfortunately, in my opinion, we were just presented with the facts and now we're voting on them. There was a little bit of discussion on it. And, I do have some concerns that some of these costs are they keep growing, and so there's things that need to get done here. Moving forward, but I'm not gonna hold up this part of it. But anyway, I think moving forward, we need to have more discussions, maybe next year. The discussion will be a little bit sooner, so we can have, a little bit more, chance to look at some other things as well.
To clarify, is that related to the health insurance plans?
The health insurance,
Thank you.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Which, so, which
Yeah, 'cause we didn't do
specifically?
So, there was some talk about, a 20% driver in cost of healthcare, and I don't think that that's sustainable, folks. I think it's getting high. We found out that a lot of the costs were driven by, a lot of the spouses. And so there was some talk about maybe possibly doing a spousal, charge. To add on to that, I think the price that they had looked at was like $1,200, to take care of that. Also, in a previous meeting, I did talk to, I forget his name now, from Gallagher.
Gary Farina.
Gary, yeah, Gary. I talked to Gary. There are a couple other programs that can help control some of the costs in healthcare, which I think future commissioners really need to dive into. Just to see if we can slow that, 20% growth is very, very high. And, since I've been here, it's continually grown. So that's where I just want to make my point. Like I said, I'm not gonna hold anything up right now because of the tight timeline, but, that's where I'm at.
Okay. With
Kristen, what do
respect to-
You have anything?
Just with respect to the spousal surcharge, we did have a discussion about it. We discussed that there was not gonna be any implementation of it this year as part of our discussion. And specifically, the consideration is that, and what was brought to us and why we didn't, as I understood it, part of the motivation in not doing that is because that type of spousal surcharge really, more often than not adversely impacts households and families where there may only be one wage earner. And so it's like double punishing a family who has not as much, it's not a two-income household. But I think with respect to that, there was a fairly, and Gary offers some insight into it and how organizations do that, but that was specifically addressed. Are there any other concerns relative to, I know you said you want to
No.
hold things up, but
No.
specifically, okay.
No, it doesn't, at this point, it doesn't matter. I just think, again, next year, I think, whoever's sitting here next year, hopefully maybe it can come a little bit sooner so we can have a little bit more, discussion on that matter.
And to the extent that we did our budget review, it did contemplate the health insurance component within the budget.
I also think the timing of things doesn't always align to your budget because we need that utilization to come in, that last wave of utilization to come in before we can get them out here. And we got them out here after that last wave of utilization because you want more than a month's
As much
utilization.
data, yeah.
You need at least 2 or 3 months utilization to really try to see where you are.
Mm.
So I'm just putting that out there. There's always going to be that tight timeline on that. We're still waiting for March's utilization for them to come back to us the last week of April to talk about stop loss. Because
Yeah.
we still need that. That's a big component for us to determine stop loss.
Okay.
And so that I just wanted to have.
Any further discussion? So on the motion, Commissioner Godu,
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes,
I'm gonna vote yes, with the exception of, and please put this in a minute, the second to last bullet point, specifically the buyout. I'm not gonna vote on that because I participate in the buyout. I think that's, because I benefit, to me, that's an ethics issue. So please note that I agree with everything except for that second bullet point with the health bio. So it passes. We're on to the next section, voluntary benefits detail.
Um, So we have another, I'm gonna, a long one, and this is all related to voluntary benefits, specifically life insurance and disability options. So I move to approve the July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025 voluntary benefits and authorize the Senior Director of Human Resources to sign all related renewal documents and or utilize DocuSign if vendor indicates as recommended by Gallagher Benefit Services and the Senior Director of Human Resources. Specifically, to approve New York Life to continue as the product administrator of the employer-sponsored basic life insurance and basic employee AD&D insurance plans for benefit eligible employees with no change in coverage at $25,000 and no change in rate at a $4 PPPM. That's per participant per month fee. To approve New York Life to continue as the fully insured short-term disability carrier with no change in rate at 51 cents per $10 benefit with 100% of the cost covered for full-time employees and prorated share for part-time employees. To approve New York Life to continue as the product administrator for voluntary long-term disability with no increase in rates. To approve New York Life to continue as the product administrator for voluntary employee, spouse, and child life AD&D with no increase in rates. To approve Nationwide to continue as the product administrator for the voluntary pet insurance benefit, allowing for payroll deductions. Enrollment is on a rolling basis. To approve Liberty Mutual to continue as the product administrator for the voluntary home and auto insurance benefit, allowing for payroll deductions. Enrollment is on a rolling basis. To approve Voya to continue as the product administrator for the flex spending accounts and cafeteria 125 plan management at an annual renewal fee of $400 payable on July 1st, 2024 through July, for the July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 25 plan year. Annual non-discrimination testing fee of $400, $4.35 per participant per month fee, no increase in rates. To adopt the IRS annual contribution limit of $3,200 for the medical FSA and limit use FSA and the IRS carryover limit of $640 for the July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025 plan year. To authorize the Senior Director of Human Resources to sign the County of Rockingham FSA renewal form for the July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025 plan year. To approve Voya to continue as the product administrator of the health savings account, no separate fee for HSA plan account administration. To approve Voya to continue as the product administrator of Cobra with no increase in rates at an annual renewal fee of $250 payable on July 1st, 2024 for the next fiscal year, the fiscal year 2025 plan year. 45 cents per employee per month fee, qualified beneficiary takeover fee of $40. To approve IMED to continue as the voluntary vision carrier at a 0% rate increase, current 4-year rate guarantee expiring June 30th, 2025. To approve New Directions to continue as the employee assistance plan provider with no increase in rate. To approve Colonial to continue as the product administrator for the voluntary accident, hospitalization, and critical illness benefits plan with no increase in rates.
Second.
Both have been made and seconded. Any discussion in here of this?
I think everybody paying attention will see that it's just a continuation, and Gallagher looks at this, it's the most competitive rates, and the analysis was done, and that it's continuity of coverage for those who are utilizing these services.
On the motion, Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, we're on to exception request 7.4.
I move to approve an exception request to personnel policy 7-4 for 2 county attorney employees, TB and KC, as detailed on the accompanying memorandum dated April 8th, 2024, as recommended by the Senior Director of Human Resources.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Commissioner Coyle?
Just a question about, so can Alice or Pat, can you guys explain kind of what, I read the memo, but
So it started with the outreach from Megan over to me to indicate that they didn't have the most updated hiring grid that we use for placement of new employees coming in. And they were looking at the former one. So when we hired this person back in June, the hiring grid hadn't been updated and approved yet, so they weren't starting till July. So they were brought in at the hiring grid for the old rate, Yeah. So when we noticed that, when they told us that, Julie and I took a deep dive and said, we want to make sure everybody's aligned. We're in budget right now. We want to make sure. And we discovered there was one other person, and we notified Chuck so that he could update their salary stuff. And that's why it's coming before you. It's not a lot, but we do want to bring them where they should have been, so that they're aligned. For anybody else that's coming in behind them, they should be above this.
And it was talking about a $4,000 impact. Is that per employee or total? Oh, two per, okay.
So, on the motion, Commissioner Godu,
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle.
Yes,
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
well, it's good to get that alignment.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
mean, really.
Power outage, paid emergency dismissal.
I move to approve the emergency dismissal pay on April 4th, 2024 for those registry of deeds and county attorney employees that were unable to perform work that day, either at the courthouse or remotely after 2 p.m. due to power outage as recommended by the Senior Director of Human Resources.
Second.
Motion's been made, seconded. Is there any discussion?
Here's to hoping we have fewer power outages when we're at
At the new
our,
building.
at the new building.
Oh, I know, right?
We're confident in you, Jude.
On the motion, Commissioner Godu,
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle.
Yeah,
I vote yes. Change order request for the Wellesley Design Consultants.
I move to approve a change order request for Wellesley Design Consultants for an amount not to exceed $77.87 as recommended by the Senior Director of Long-Term Care Services.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion on this one. Commissioner Godu?
It seems like a silly process that we're approving $77 overage. Is this necessary? Is there do we have to be right to the dollar?
If you go over the not to exceed original award, you do.
Okay.
That's, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Further discussion? If not, on the motion, Commissioner Coyle.
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Yes. Department head updates. I'm gonna go to Chuck first.
Obviously, living budgets, also negotiations, various financial analyses, grants, it's the month following a quarter end, so grants will be a thing right now, because obviously we still have to do the usual rental assistance filing still.
We do?
So, yes, until the closeout report.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, Treasury keeps on coming with different data points that they want, so that makes it fun, because it's always a manual process.
Moving
So
target,
it's, yes, actually it is.
just like
So
crazy.
good luck to those people out there who paid whatever for systems and they can't really, like, we couldn't really modify it
Right.
to accommodate these new information requests, so. But yes, Treasury keeps on adjusting things. So so it's not just like a repeat of the prior quarter per se. So that makes it fun. Obviously, we got the VOCA, well, actually ARPA right now.
Yeah.
Switching to VOCA. Let's see, we got a late request, the other day, from DHHS about the opioid abatement grant. They asked for another data point, but I threw that right back at them. So that individual was very happy. So we'll see when that money comes, hopefully, you know, the $2 million, so.
2.2, don't do anything to stall it.
But anyways, we'll see. I'm betting there'll be another information request after. But, anyways, just overall extremely busy. I did put together, based upon, last Thursday's budget session and some of the working, reworking of some revenue numbers and, long-term care had two other, lines that they, came in at. And actually, there was one line that was being talked about for what kind of reduction it was gonna be during the session, and they did the math about that reduction and got that to me, so. Yes, so, and I did rework, the payroll projection piece, no change in dollar totals, but for the nursing department,
Oh, great,
so. You'll see that in the individual lines.
Great.
So,
thank you.
but that's all this.
That's okay. Actually, I'm gonna go to Emily because Emily's here. And for those who may not know Emily, I think everyone does, but Emily was our grant writer, or is our grant writer currently, but she has, she had an opportunity to, make a career move, so I'm gonna let her, if she wants to, have a few words and, really sad to see you go. I was hoping to have you for a few more years, but, things happen, so.
Yeah, and I know I was only here for a short time, but in the year that I was here, I really grew a lot and was able to work on a ton of projects that have kind of propelled me to be able to make this move so soon. So while I'm sad to leave and I'll miss working on a bunch of different things and working with everybody, it's been a very rewarding experience. I'm excited for the next step and I'm grateful that everything I've been able to do has been able to push me to make this move towards something that I'm really excited about.
It's really great. We wish you the best.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go to Pat Conway next.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
So we're busy as usual. We, unfortunately, we are going to lose another attorney. I think his last day is tomorrow. So that will be a total of 3 attorneys that we're down.
This is no.
I'm sorry,
We
what?
can't discuss.
Could you speak up just a little bit?
Yes, so, we are going to be down another attorney as of tomorrow. His last day is tomorrow, so that'll be 3 positions that are open.
Okay.
As of tomorrow.
3 positions.
Attorney positions, yes. So that's not a good thing. We have made an offer to an individual who accepted it. We're currently doing a background check, so hopefully we'll get that person in. We also have been conducting interviews and there's a particular person that we're very interested in. We're gonna bring him back for another interview. So hopefully, we'll be able to fill another position. We're working on that and, just chugging along. We did a training yesterday, or not yesterday. It was the day of the eclipse, Tuesday?
Yeah.
I can't remember what day it was.
Monday.
Monday, goodness sake, yeah, I'm busy, but we did a training for our attorneys on, one-party authorization. So I had a couple of my lead attorneys, just do a training as a refresher for some people and then just a training for some of our newer folks about how and when we can authorize one parties. And that's basically drug deals where a CI is working with the police and they want to record the telephone calls. And so there's legal criteria for that. And so we just had a training. So I thought that that was good to make sure that we're, upholding the law and doing it
Does
appropriately.
a judge have to sign on?
No,
Okay.
it's authorized by the Attorney General's office allows us to authorize one parties pursuant to the law.
Okay.
With regard to drug transactions only. So, it's just part of what we do, when we're on call. We take calls for one parties all the time. So that's about it.
Very good. Yeah, Commissioner Godu asked a question.
I have a question. Pat, would you describe the staffing situation and the relative to the caseload with how many attorneys you have? We had some discussion about your staffing situation
Yeah, sure.
and I'd like to discuss the caseload.
Sure. So after we met, and talked about the budget in my office, I did look at some numbers in terms of what our caseload is per person. And what I found is that if we were up to 20 people, which we're not, so right now I have 20 positions in the office, including my position, 20. And so if we were up to 20 people, our caseload would be on average 151 per person. I think I told you 156, but I did that last night and this morning I went over it again and I made an error when I was doing addition. So it's actually 151. And so with 18 attorneys, which is what we have now, it's 167 per person. And the AG had said a few years back that the ideal number for caseload for a prosecutor, a felony level prosecutor, is 75. So we are much higher than that number. And, quite frankly, we're probably never going to reach that number because we'd have to have 40 attorneys to get down to that, and that's never going to happen. But what I am always concerned about is making sure that our caseload is not just manageable, but in a place where we can be exceptional and where we can offer exceptional services to the citizens of Rockingham County and to victims of crime. And so that's my concern. And I would like to point out that two of the attorneys who left are going to offices where they're not gonna have such a high caseload. So Trish Peters, who left about a few weeks ago, a month ago, is going to liquor enforcement where honestly, they just don't have the type of caseload that we have here. Cam, who is leaving tomorrow, is going to the Attorney General's office where again, they're not juggling as many cases as we are here. So I also worry about keeping the folks that we have and developing, you know, an experienced team that stays in the office. So that's sort of where we're at this point.
Can you do you have an idea of how many, how many new cases came in for January, February, March? And how many new cases came in for relative to the prior quarter? So October, November, December, so we can just do a quarter by quarter analysis of the case numbers that came in.
I can't tell you how many came in the last 3 months, but I can tell you that,
Do you track?
we track cases received.
Yeah,
Yes, we do. We do track that. And so what I did do is I looked at, the cases that we received over the last 1, 2, 3, 4 years. So on average, the cases that we received from like 2020 through 2023 is 1,465 cases. So far this year, well, up until April is 1,228 cases.
You almost have a year's worth.
So it's
In a
up
quarter?
until July 1st through April 1st.
no, I know, but what we're trying to get at is how many new cases came in since the shift in felonies first?
I don't know that. I can't tell you. I mean, I
Can we look
didn't
that up?
look at it monthly. I just looked at like pulled the
Yeah.
numbers from July to April, but I can certainly do that.
Well, if we can, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but we want to compare the last 2 quarters.
Yeah.
Correct. So if we could pull, you know, October, November, December as a quarter period, and then January, February, March. So we can just do I mean, it's not gonna be a perfect system.
No, but
But
give us
it
an
was-
indication
yeah.
if there's a gross change.
Okay, I can do that. But I also want to make sure, regardless of whether the caseload is reduced, we're still not even close to where we should be. I mean, that's the reality of it. So even if the caseload is reduced significantly, we'd have to have 20 more attorneys to be at 75 per person. I just want to make sure that everybody understands that. If we want to be an exceptional county attorney's office, if we want to spend enough time on these cases, we should not be reducing the positions in my office. And it's not just about the people in my office and making sure that people can manage things and have life-work balance, but it's also about the citizens of our county and doing an effective job for people. Again, like, I don't want to just be an office that is barely keeping our head above water. I want to be an exceptional county attorney's office for the people in this county.
And then Yeah. I was just curious, so in terms of that, 1,000 cases, like how many of those were disposed of through ECR and, you know, for instance, do you have,
I don't, I mean,
Okay.
I can tell you probably, I'd say about 20%
okay,
are
so,
resolved through ECR. And again, those are the cases received, but I have attorneys who have over 250 cases,
Oof, wow.
including myself. And, you know, I would encourage you to check with other county attorneys' offices. I'm sure there are not other county attorneys that have that high of a caseload. So, you know, I have one attorney who has 298 cases.
That's crazy.
So again, whether it's reduced or not, we're still not even close to where we should be. So I would encourage you all to really think long and hard about that.
So we're not in the budget discussions really. We're doing updates, but
Yeah, but I'll look back at those months as you requested and get that information to you.
thanks, Pat. Anything else, Pat?
No.
Superintendent Henry?
Sure, one, what are going on? 130 inside, 11 o'clock, I have a Zoom meeting with Community Mental Health. As they're been working on the Amanda D settlement, which happened under Governor Hassan, where the state was sued for not having enough mental health beds. And there hasn't been a lot of movement since then, so now they're starting to find out why and what's going on and where the beds are and what the state hasn't done what they're supposed to. Superintendent Costanzo met with them last week, so I'm meeting with them today. Tomorrow I have to go down and see Senator Pearl, reference Constitutional Amendment 13 for slavery. And then Senator Carlson next week on Tuesday on the same bill. And then after Senator Pearl on tomorrow, staying afterwards with the superintendents and a bunch of other groups to go over bail reform, including specifically pretrial release with monitoring, that kind of good stuff, and rewriting. Senator Carlson wants to rewrite what it needs to be. So that'll be tomorrow. May 6th through 10th is Employee Appreciation Week. So we're working on that right now for corrections. Yesterday, State Prison came down and trained in one of our open units. And then half of them went up to State Prison yesterday, helped them out because they have a lot of contraband issues. And our staff actually helped, found a tattoo gun, a bunch of Suboxone, and a lot more stuff helping them out. So, because they're short-staffed and those kinds of things. Beyond that, that's all I have. Busy with the budget and negotiations.
Very good. Thank you. Allison?
Hi, I have an MOU signed for you today for the, for the corrections. I'm still, back and forth with, Bill Cahill to obtain his two. I've been sending him voicemails and emails on that. The massage chairs rolled out, the other day. It's been well received. People are very, complimentary and happy. Negotiations, of course, for preparation, a lot of time was on the NCU. I'm waiting a word from the, legal assistants on their ratification outcome. It's been, as you can tell by the board agenda, it's been all things benefit renewal on my end. And, I think that is it for the moment. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Allison. Gonna go to the sheriff's department. I did see, before he begins, I did see a post that Saber caught a couple of bad people, so.
Yeah, no, he's doing, I tell you, that dog, I mean, these dogs are the best thing that we've ever got for this office. I mean, they're functional dogs, they're out there, they're assisting these local police agencies. We're very happy with the program that we have and the people that are actually doing the work, the K-9 officers. It's phenomenal. Just last Thursday during that snowstorm, dispatch blew up here. Between the hours of 4 a.m. to 2 p.m. We had a little over 590 calls for service during the peak of the storm. We're busy at the courthouse with the Sununu Center case. So the courthouse is very busy for us, and otherwise than that, status quo. Thank you.
Thank you. And Jude Gates.
Good morning, everyone. All's well in facilities. A few things, well, a lot of things going on. You might have heard yesterday that US EPA has modified their standards for PFAS. They've lowered it pretty dramatically. I have a phone call tomorrow with our consultants that have been following the program for us. Kind of related to that, we had a follow-up letter from DES asking some additional questions regarding the well number 4 permitting. And they're suggesting that our plan had been to completely eliminate well house number 2. The zone is too near the building for us to use it for water. They're asking us to consider leaving it so that it could be a test site for PFAS. The thinking being that it may be migrating from the fire training school and out. There's some in well number 2. There's a little bit less in well number 3. There's even less than that in well number 4. So they may want us to leave well number 2 at least accessible for testing, which I thought was kind of interesting. I think we're probably contributing to a database in the state as far as, data. Last week, we had an issue with a couple of transformers during the storm. It had more to do with the wind than anything else. The air handling unit, especially in Carlisle building, was very much affected. We had to shut it down and encourage people to leave because it was just getting really hot in there and we couldn't get any fresh air in the building. Admin building was affected slightly less. Layla was really upset that I called and said, "I'm so sorry, you have to go home." She was bereft.
She was gonna teach
Yeah,
a
but she goes
Bikram
the door
yoga.
open.
She was gonna teach a Bikram yoga class.
Oh, yeah. They fixed it on Saturday and everything's back to situation normal. We got our sewer connection permit 2 days ago for the new building. We've been waiting since September, so that was like huge. We're very excited about that. They're working on the fire line. The New Hampshire State Fire Marshal's office is out here every day doing inspections on the site, doing inspections on the fire line. We had 9.73 inches of rain here at the complex last month in March. We track it. It's part of the permitting for the wastewater treatment facility. So he has like a calibrated weather station. That's the highest March reading since we've been recording them in 2000. We've never had that much rain in a March. So it's kind of noteworthy. I mean, we all think it's wet, but it's wet. It's definitely wet. We've had a ton of rain. We can see it in the lagoon levels. So it's just kind of interesting. The facility's handling it really well, which bodes well for the capacity discussion with regard to the new building and the wastewater system. So that's all good. And then I just have a question for the commissioners. I was asked whether or not you want to consider installing a time capsule underneath, the front stairs or the county seal that's on that front walk up. I just figured I'd throw it out there. Maybe you guys can think about it. Let me know what you want. I can,
That sounds kind of fun.
I
yeah,
think we should.
Yeah.
I personally, I think it'd be fun.
Yeah,
yeah.
we did one in Derry years ago when they built the new municipal center, and it doesn't get open until 2077, but it's fun to
It's
do,
fun.
and someone in the future can open it up and see how life was back in 2024.
Look
Yeah.
at those funny looking people and how they're dressed.
Yeah.
So good idea.
That is some
I'll make
passion.
sure that they'll reserve a spot for us then. I'll let them know that you're definitely
Thanks,
interested.
Jude. Thank you.
Thank you.
And just for the record, Kathy Stacy has joined us. So I'm gonna go to Kathy.
Good morning, everybody. Not much to report, business as usual. I do want to thank Jason Smith. He came through for us over here and provided some glasses for the eclipse, which was pretty fun to be able to go back. Yeah. So that was a great event for staff. And I thank you for approving that the time that happened last week for the staff. It means a lot, and that's about it. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you missed it. The comment is going forward with the new building, it looks like maybe those issues are gonna disappear soon. Which I'm sure you'll be happy about that.
Very much so. Very
Yeah.
much so. Thank you.
Okay, Jason Smith.
Good morning. Let's see here. Tomorrow we will be doing our annual emergency operation plan page turner in conjunction with the facilities department. It's always a fun event to turn hundreds of pages over every year, but it's a good exercise for us all. We will be holding a community education event for advanced directives for family members, residents, and for the greater community. That's 4 to 5 on April 16th. In the board report that I provided for you, it included our newsletter, our employee newsletter for this month of April. We also had our kickoff meeting with the New Hampshire Department of Health and Human Services for delaying institutional care. Jessica Wendell, myself, Chuck, and Emily were participating on that with the leadership over at DHHS, who is piloting that program. So we have completed a lot of work, and we'll be forwarding that information over. We'll be meeting on a monthly basis for periodic check-ins moving forward. Other happenings, I received a nice letter from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Office of the Inspector General, Office of Audit Services to conduct an audit. So I am working on completing all of that. It is around infection control practices, making sure that we adhered to the CMS federal regulation, that we had a program and appropriate staff managing that program. So I'm happy to say that we did, and that information will be forwarded tomorrow. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Jason. I'm gonna go to Leila now.
Hi, good morning. So I did receive a request. It was actually a late application for non-county special. So I just wanted to have this discussion so it's on record. How shall we proceed?
We're gonna talk about the budget after this meeting, so
But
maybe we can bring it up at that point, or
I think we should probably do this portion in public, don't you? Because
it's up to you.
Who's the applicant?
Haven. The issue is, so this is the second late application.
For them?
No, for like of non-county specials. So the deadline is set for March 31st or March 31st.
It was this time, I think it was 29th because
Okay.
31st is on the weekend.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah.
Leila, you sent an email to all the current, the last fiscal year
Yes,
recipients. And when did you send that email?
March 11th.
And then
Did we pay them? Did we give them something last year?
we gave them
Yes.
$30,000 last year.
Oh, and that was missing. I remember
And
that.
that's what, and they didn't do their application. You know, they're a great organization to support. I'm of the feeling it's opening up. If we don't, they were notified a few weeks before and
And when did it come in?
a week later. I think it was like
Last Friday.
So the way I view it is they are a great organization, but rules are rules. You know, it was sent out and it came in late. I think you open up a can of worms if you accept it at this point in time now. Now, does that mean that they don't get anything? No, because the delegation gets to have their say. So
Right,
what I would say is let them make the pitch to the delegation. And if the delegation so chooses to put that into their side of the budget, then so be it. But I think, and correct me, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I'm feeling that we've been crunching numbers to get to a certain point. This is gonna add, so I'm not in a position, I'm still looking for some savings. So I would say, me personally, let them make their pitch to the delegation because they're late and, sorry, you gotta follow the rules, folks. But anyway, do you feel the same?
I'm pretty similar situated. We already told another organization that applied late and they missed the deadline by like maybe they submitted Monday. After the Friday deadline.
She requested to submit it late. We never actually saw her.
Okay, so, and we said no because we set a deadline, so I think it would be
We
right
need to stick with it.
to turn back at this point. The organization that asked to submit late, they were new, so they didn't get the benefit of a notification. So I think given that they were notified ahead of time, and again, to your point, Commissioner Churchill, I think that's right. If they want to request a change from the delegation, then that's something the delegation. can put in.
Yeah, they get a second out of the apple, so. All right, so I think we have our
Thank you.
direction.
Mhm.
All right, did I miss anybody? I think I got everybody, right? So, where am I here? New business, old business, does anybody have anything? Commissioner Godu?
This is relative to the discussion on the energy efficiency block grant.
Yes.
I found the letter.
Okay, good.
It's the letter that you have to sign authorizing Chuck to be the representative. And it says, please consider this letter as my certification that Charles Nickerson, Senior Director of Finance, has been appointed to represent Charles Nickerson
Oh, yeah.
and is the contact for Rockingham County, New Hampshire. That seemed like a typo or
Yeah.
something.
We have to reword that, I believe.
I can go through and change it. I just used their fill-in on the DOE website. And it filled that in just on its own.
Yeah,
Cause I had to just fill in the names and then it used that language. So I understand it's kind of redundant, but we can change it.
shouldn't it say Rockingham County?
It's
New
like
Hampshire?
Rockingham
It
County.
does. I think if you
afterward.
take the second
does.
Charles Nickerson out, you'd be fine.
Okay,
It says has been appointed. Charles Nickerson has been appointed
To
as the
represent,
contact for Rockingham County.
Rockingham
I
County.
think it may be as simple as that.
okay.
Yeah, crossing off half that sentence. would
Yeah.
be
You may want it stated twice because there's a difference times between representation and the contact person. So you may want Rockham County actually stated in place of my name.
And
So you may want it stated twice, I'm just saying.
I mean, it's in the
Represent
body of the
Rockingham
letter,
County.
but down
Be the
below. it brings you up
contact.
again.
and contact
In
for.
contact.
Yeah, both,
I think,
right.
well, I think we just have to reference as representative
yeah.
and contact.
Okay, good catch, Commissioner Godu. Anything?
We
else?
do have the walk-in also.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all on that. Thank you.
Any new business? All right.
Okay, walk-in. I move to approve a travel and training request for a finance office employee SG to attend the Tyler Connect 2024 conference held May 19th through the 22nd, 2024 in Indianapolis, Indiana, at an estimated total cost of $3,706.41 as recommended by the Senior Director of Finance.
Second,
Motion been made and seconded, discussion. If none, on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
yes,
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
I vote yes. Thank you. Liz.
Thank you.
Reminded me, I skipped over that. I apologize. All right, I'm gonna go to public comment. Anybody from the public that would like to say anything, just raise your hand. I see former Commissioner Tom Morello as a member of the public. You all set? Okay. All right, so we have non-public?
We do.
Okay.
We have one for, two for DLC or one for, just one?
And two for me.
Okay, so I move to enter into non-public pursuant to 91A:3 and invite. Allison, are you staying for, yeah, and
You want to-
Superintendent Henry?
Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor, I'm gonna do a roll call. Commissioner Godu?
yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Thank you, everybody. Hope you have a good day.
Commissioners,
You wanna adjourn and do the workshop or do you think just stay?
We need to, so we just came out of non-public. We had 4 different issues in
Oh,
non.
yeah, it should be.
The first 2 issues were relative to the Department of Corrections. And I moved to seal those minutes indefinitely because that it could affect the reputation of an individual other than a member of this group.
Second,
Motion's been made and seconded on 1 and 2. On the motion, Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
I vote yes.
On the third issue, we had that was in relation to long-term care, and I moved to seal those minutes until July 1st, 2025.
second,
Motion's been made and seconded on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
I vote yes.
The final issue, number 4 that we took up, I do not, I don't think we need to seal those minutes, so I didn't make no motion relative to that.
Okay. So those would have to be posted within 72 hours, so,
They don't have to be posted.
I'm sorry, have to be available.
if
Available.
requested.
yeah. So are you gonna be okay if it gets, if that conversation gets?
I think it should be sealed for a couple of weeks or a month.
Okay, well, why don't
30
we also
days
seal
till we
those
make
minutes to,
decisions.
because it could render a proposed action ineffective.
Right,
So 30 days.
Okay.
for 30 days.
Yes,
On the motion, Commissioner Coyle?
yes,
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
I vote yes.
okay.
All right,
Motion
And
to adjourn?
second,
motion been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. So we're adjourned. We're gonna be going into workshop. Okay. Anyone need a break?